What's up, heroes? This is Dan here from HeroAcademyFitness.com, and today we're going to talk about the single arm cable crossover. This is a pec dominant exercise for isolating your chest muscles. It can be done with a cable machine or with resistance bands. I prefer the cable machine if it's available, but if it's not available, resistance bands work fine. The one-arm cable crossover and the standard cable crossover are very similar. I prefer the one-arm because I feel like I can overload it a little better, and also because I feel like I can focus on the contraction of the muscle more. But you can also do a two-armed cable crossover as well. I just prefer the one-armed. So what you're going to do for this is you're going to step out with your back facing wherever your machine is, or bands are, if you will. All right. A lot of people focus too much on having a straight arm for this. Straight arm is less important than making sure you're at full extension of your pectoral muscle here. You don't need to fly back super far. All right. This isn't great. You're going to lose a little bit of stability here, potentially put your shoulder at risk. What you want to do is you want to have your shoulder in line with your arm, but stretched back as far as you can go, while still keeping that shoulder in line and engaged. You want to keep your lats engaged. You want to have your serratus anterior, which is your muscle down here, all engaged. You want that full kinetic chain in your shoulder back here, just to make sure that you're preserving your shoulder integrity. If you're winging your shoulder back, and you'll be able to feel the difference. Like there's a point where between here and right about there where you can feel your scapula kind of pull inward, your shoulder blade back there, and that's not where you want to get to. You want to get to the point where your shoulder is forward and engaged with your deltoids bracing, and then all you're going to do is you're going to bring the arm up and across the body, okay? You don't want to come to just here. The whole point of doing a crossover is to get that extra level of articulation going on here, all right? And what you want to do is you want to have a nice controlled motion all the way through and focus on squeezing those pec muscles when you get to the end here. All right, so position of the hand isn't super important. I prefer to take like almost like a hook punch, like a boxer's hook punch as I'm coming across, but you can flare it out a little bit. Underhanded is basically the thing you don't want to do. You can even come straight on like this with a neutral grip. But we're here, and we're going to come across and squeeze nice and tight, and put your fingers here. Notice I got my hand here while I'm doing this. Put your fingers right here. Feel it the whole time. All right, we're coming through. We go and squeeze. All right. Now you can go pretty heavy on this, especially since it's a one-arm variation. All right. Obviously, you don't want to go so heavy that you're not in control of the situation, and you're not going to do like super high weight, low reps on this. Like I don't think I program anything less than 8 reps on this when I'm writing my programs up. But you can go pretty heavy on this, and especially since your pec is a very strong muscle, right? As far as your single muscles go, it's pretty big. It's got good mass to it. And as far as aesthetics go, if you're lifting for aesthetics, usually pec development is something that a lot of people can struggle with, right? Depending on how you're genetically predisposed. So you can go pretty heavy with this. Don't be afraid to go pretty heavy with this. Just make sure you keep that shoulder engaged through the whole motion and you squeeze. And if you notice also, I've got the weight a little high on this. You can come down a little bit, but you don't want to be going below your shoulder height, okay? You want to be at or slightly above shoulder height. And you just want to come down and squeeze nice and tight. And you'll feel the difference between here, like where you would end with a bench press, and the crossover point. All right. And this is the difference between flies versus crossovers. All right. Cable flies or dumbbell flies, you typically come right to the front here. The crossover, you go all the way across. If you're doing a two-arm variant, your hands literally cross. That's the whole point of it. So if you're doing the two-armed, it's very easy to know the cross point. If you're doing the one-armed, just think about if you had the other hand coming across, and you can feel that point where you get that full adduction clench there right up here. Okay. So that's the one-arm cable crossover. I'm not kidding. Actually, put your fingers here while you're doing it. You will notice the difference and feel that squeeze as you come across. And just like with a lot of other isolation exercises like tricep pushdowns or bicep curls, I really like to get to that point and put an extra squeeze in it while you're there, right? So you flex all the way in, squeeze the muscle, and then let it go. Control it on the back, obviously, preserve that shoulder health. And the upside of doing this on a cable machine or resistance band versus trying to do it with dumbbells, I don't advise doing dumbbells, is first off, the dumbbells, you don't get any actual crossover action there, so it's always just a fly. But secondly, if you're on a resistance band or a cable machine, it's very easy to just, if you start to feel you're losing that shoulder integrity, just relax and turn into it. If you're lying on your back with dumbbells there, it's difficult to let the dumbbells go out of your hands without without having to try and twist your wrist one way or the other, which can put your shoulder in even more danger. So definitely, if you're doing these, do them resistance band or with a cable machine. All right, I say cable machine. This is a $15 or $10 pulley that I've got on a 2x4 here. Right, you don't have to get super fancy, but yeah. So that's it for the single arm cable crossover. Thank you for watching. As always, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye bye.